Hey there, and welcome back. We spend so much time talking about DNA in terms of what makes us all unique. But today, we're going to flip that idea on its head. We're diving into a part of our genetic code that's so important precisely because it doesn't change. A gene that evolution itself seems to have decided is just too perfect to mess with.
So, let's start with a question you've probably wondered about. How is it that the same exact medicine can be a total game changer for one person, but for someone else, it does practically nothing? Why the huge difference? Well, a massive clue is hiding inside our own bodies.
Turns out, our DNA is a huge piece of that puzzle. We're talking up to 30% of the reason a drug hits differently from person to person is buried in our unique genetic code. But here's the twist. What if the real secret isn't in the variations, but in a place where there is absolutely no variation at all?
Okay, let's meet the star of today's story, a gene called SLC22A3. I know. The name doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, but what it does is absolutely essential. The best way to think about it, it's a master gatekeeper for our cells.
So this gene, SLC22A3, it's basically the instruction manual for building a protein called HOCT3. And this HOCT3 protein, it's like the ultimate super strict bouncer at the club door of your cells. Its whole job is to control which molecules get in and which get kicked out, a process that is just fundamental to keeping your body running smoothly.
And just look at the VIP list this gatekeeper manages. We're talking about things like metformin, a go-to diabetes drug, super powerful chemotherapy drugs, and even critical brain chemicals like dopamine and epinephrine. So the flawless function of this one protein affects everything from our blood sugar to our mood. Its job is, no exaggeration, a matter of life and death.
Now, with a job this important, you'd think there would be variations in the gene that might change how it works, right? Well, that's exactly what a team of researchers in South Africa wanted to find out. They launched a genetic manhunt to see what they could find.
Their mission was very specific. They zeroed in on 18 known spots in the SLC22A3 gene where tiny variations, called SNPs, could happen. You can think of these SNPs as single-letter typos in the genetic code, and the researchers were on the hunt for any of these 18 specific typos.
So, who'd they look at? They analyzed DNA from 278 healthy volunteers in Cape Town, and these volunteers came from two genetically distinct communities, the Cape Admixed and the Xhosa. By looking at diverse groups, the hope was to get a really wide-angle snapshot of any potential variations in this gene.
All right, so they've got the samples, they run the tests, and they're waiting for the data to roll in. In genetics, you pretty much always find some variation. It's just the nature of the beast. But what they found this time, well, let's just say nobody saw this coming.
Okay, so here's the big question. You have 278 people. You have two different populations. You're searching for 18 different known variations in this critical gene. How many do you think they found? Go on, take a guess.
0. A big, fat 0.
Not a single one of the 18 variations they were looking for was found in any of the 278 people. It was a complete blank.
And this table here, it just drives the point home. Look at it. For every variation they looked for, across every single person from both populations, the result was exactly the same, 0. A perfect, unbroken, and honestly kind of shocking pattern of sameness.
Now you might be thinking, wait, so they found nothing? Was the study a bust? Absolutely not. In science, sometimes finding nothing is the biggest discovery you can make. This wasn't a dead end. This null result was a giant flashing neon sign pointing to something incredibly important.
Because here's where it gets even crazier. When the scientists checked global genetic databases, they saw the same exact thing. No matter where they looked, people of European, Asian, or other African ancestries, the SLC22A3 gene was just as stable. This wasn't some local quirk in Cape Town. This is a global phenomenon.
And here are the researchers' own words. They basically concluded that this lack of variation is a huge signal. What they're talking about here, homeostasis, is the body's essential process of keeping everything in perfect, stable balance. This gene's job is so critical to that delicate dance that evolution just won't allow any changes.
So let's circle back one more time to what this gatekeeper actually does. It's handling crucial drugs for diabetes. It's impacting cancer treatments. It's regulating our brain chemistry. Any little typo in his genetic code could throw those vital systems into chaos, with potentially deadly results.
And that, right there, is the mind-blowing takeaway. This gene isn't just stable by accident. It has been actively firewalled by evolution. Its function is so absolutely non-negotiable for our survival that for thousands and thousands of years, natural selection has put up a giant do not touch sign. It's like nature perfected this one piece of code and decided, that's it, it's done. Don't mess with perfection.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? We spend all this time focused on our genetic differences, but this research proves that our shared unchanging genes might hold the deepest secrets to our health. What other parts of our shared human blueprint are so flawlessly designed, so essential that they form the universal foundation of who we all are?